Well, Henry, thank you for visiting with us. This is very bittersweet for me because this will probably be the last time I'm interviewing you. Your mayorship ends in May, is that
It'll
right?
be at the May election and then the June council meeting. The last council meeting I'll be involved in is the May one. And then in
Okay.
June, the new mayor and council members will be taking over.
Okay. Any thoughts on that or?
Well, I'm pretty sure that we have good continuity with the folks that are there, the
Hmm.
folks that will remain, and some of the folks that I know that are coming in and running, including our Mayor Pro Tem is running for mayor.
Hmm.
John has been with me on all the things we've been doing for the past 8 or 9 months. And I know he will do a great job following up on the things that are active, and he has some good ideas for other things. So yeah, John would be great.
Great.
The other council members, continuity is key, and I think we will be on the same path.
Good. You have plans for what you're going to do when you get, I mean, you're still working, obviously. You want to talk, we've never talked about your business,
Yeah.
what you do, what's your real line of work?
So my paying job is I have a company called it's Meridian Wealth Management, and we help people with their finances, their money. So we help them prepare for retirement, educational savings for their kids, trying to figure out how much money do I need to be saving, and then we do the investment management associated with those things.
Right.
I love doing it. It's kind of my third career that I've had, but it's something I've always liked doing, and I think we do a really good job.
So that's going to keep you busy, I guess. And how much time did this being mayor, how much of that, of your time does that take in a typical
It
week?
it varies greatly. With some of the things that have been going on here lately, uh, sometimes 10, 15, 20 hours a week or
Mm.
more. Uh, but in general, it's not overwhelming. I mean, I'm still able to have a life and play
Right.
with my grandkids and handle the workload that I have in my office. And
Yeah.
so it's not overwhelming, but it's something you got to focus on and you got to like doing it.
Yeah.
Main thing is you got to be able to talk to people.
Right.
That's the most important thing for me is transparency and let people know what's going on in town. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity through these podcasts to do that.
Well, you have always been so proactive with the townspeople, meeting with them, going to HOA meetings, even visiting with them, and people try to get in touch with you. You get back with them. You're always open to discussions, and you're kind of the prototype mayor, in my opinion. But I don't have a lot of experience with other mayors, but we've been doing this for 5 or 6 years now, and I thought, man, if I ever want a mayor, that would be the guy I'd want right there.
So I've been involved in public service, elected public service for 14 years now. And I look back through some of my nonprofit work that I've done. At one time, I was the president of Arts of Collin County. We were trying to build a big arts center here in Allen. We had Frisco, Plano, McKinney, Allen, and Fairview and Melissa involved in it,
Hmm.
actually. And one of the persons involved with that was a guy, Frisco. He was the mayor of Frisco. His name is Mayor Masso. And
Hmm.
Mayor Masso set the goal for me. He was very much available all the time, was everywhere. He had coffees for people to come visit with him and that sort of thing. So he was somebody that I looked up to and said, I'd like to be like him.
Yeah. Um, uh, I want to go into some of the projects that are going on right now, but one of the things I wanted to ask you first was, what do you feel like your biggest accomplishment was out here, and what do you feel like you didn't get accomplished, you wish you had, if you just didn't have enough time to do it?
So I think some of the most important things that I was able to get done. Number one, get the town wired for internet, AT&T. Um, I started that 4 years ago, something like that. It took a while to get it
It
started,
sure
but once it
did.
did, and we have one neighborhood, Summerhill Farms, that still
Still,
still does
we
not
were
have
talking about
AT.
that a year
They
ago.
still don't have it, but they have committed to have that done by April May timeframe.
Okay.
So I check on that occasionally. They keep telling me yes. I haven't seen any work being done, but that's what they tell me. So
Yeah. Good.
so the AT&T internet access throughout our town to me was one of the big ones.
Mhm.
Another one was really associated with Country Club 1378. there were lots of things that needed to be done to fix Country Club. Some right-hand turns, left-hand turns. We got a light finally at Stoddard over there to protect the kids
Right.
at school.
That was a big deal.
And it took us a while to get to that, but TxDOT did a little bit at first, then he did a little bit more, and then he did the whole thing for me. So Jennifer Voister is the TxDOT engineer, and we become good workmates, and they've done a great job for us. The good news is Jennifer has to drive through town every morning, so on her way to work, so
Right.
she knows what we need. But we made it a lot safer. We expanded the shoulders. There were some places there where if you drive off the shoulder, you're kind of
Right.
gonna crash big time.
Right.
Um, the striping is better. You can see it at night. So yeah, they did a great job for us. So that's a big one.
Were you responsible for the dark nights, Fairview Dark Night?
Oh no,
Or was already
that was
set
a
up?
long time ago.
Yeah.
That was back. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even tell you when. But two guys, Paul Westbrook and Gary Carter, who live in the Lakewood area over there, they were the ones that initiated that with the council back sometime. I don't even know when it was, but and I still kind of, they know I'm a big dark side
Yeah, you are.
guy,
Yeah.
and so yeah.
You've told me you go out sometimes with a telescope, and you get together with a little group and you
So
go out and look at the
that
stars.
Gary Carter runs those things, and it's usually associated with Lovejoy in some form or fashion. But I have to tell you, this was after I got back. I've been in New Zealand, Australia for a while, and when I came back, it was Tuesday night a week ago. I distinctly remember, or Monday night a week ago. It was Tuesday or Monday. But I'm picking the mail up out of my mailbox, and I look up at the sky, and I saw the Orion, which is the first time I've seen the Orion for a while. I could see Jupiter, which I see all the time, Mars, several stars, but I could see the edge of the Milky Way. I have never seen that in
Oh.
town. And at my house, I live more towards the west side,
Mhm.
and it's not as dark as it is over on
Yeah.
Country Club. But I was just ecstatic that I could do that.
Yeah. If you don't know the Fairview area, East Fairview is pretty much against Lake Lavon. So there are no lights on Lake Lavon. So it's dark there at nights, and I like the idea that you've got light shining down. They're not allowed
Yeah.
to shine for commercial and residential. You guys are doing that. So
So I'm a no light guy.
in the way of trails, what else have you done for Fairview? What's been your
So,
push?
So some other significant things that we've done. Yeah, we've added to our trails significantly over the past couple of years. A big one over here on the west side, around past but down the Dart Trail. That one. We got the Parkside Trail done. That was another one. Some other things that we've done in a big way. Some of the road projects that we've been talking about for years and years and years are about to start. We have the new street, Fairview Crossing, that parallels Frisco Road. By the way, Rich Conley was the one that named that for posterity.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Rich came
Okay.
up with that name. We sat in a conference, or the council was meeting, and we were like, what do we call that street? What do we call it? And Rich came up with that. We all said, well, it's
Yeah.
pretty good. We like that one. So he did that. That street is not, that's been ready for service since October.
Mhm.
There is one telephone pole in the way, and there are two carriers on that. Suddenlink and Charter were on there.
Mhm.
So I got involved before I left on vacation in December and started, threatening to go cut the pole down with a chainsaw. And I'll say Charter has reacted while I was gone for a while, almost a month. I come back and Medical City McKinney has been able to almost build a 9-story building there. Their new building they're building. So I had to go back and say something to the effect of, hey, while I was gone for a month, they built a 9-story building. We can't even move a doggone
Right.
telephone pole. I wasn't
Right.
that nice. So anyway, but the good news is Charter has moved off of there. The last I knew was 3 or 4 days ago. They had to do splicing, and then they could take that cable down. Suddenlink is still out there. They're dealing with permits somehow. So I've got, I mentioned Jennifer a while ago. Jennifer's trying to help us, the TxDOT person, because TxDOT's involved in this.
Mhm.
But once they get Suddenlink moved, I'm guessing it'll be a couple of weeks. Then after that, there's a couple of things we have to do as far as striping and get, so people go the right way when they
Right.
approach that intersection. It's a little bit odd because it's not quite lined up. But I'm guessing, but maybe by March, the end of March, we'll have that in service. I hope.
Any new news on when the Billingsley project is going to start?
So they are working on. We are working on getting Fairview Parkway. We've got the agreements with the Lawler family and stuff to go up through there. That I wouldn't be surprised to see construction start in a couple of weeks on that. They're going to start with a bridge across Sloan Creek, what I understand. So that's the road part of it. So that's moving along. And then when will they start something? They've said later this year, not a date, August, September timeframe probably. In there, we're behind that Korean Methodist church is. They will build a 4-story apartment complex and a parking garage back there. That'll be their
Okay.
first what they do first. If you're interested to see what they're doing, you can they've started on Allen already. They've got a couple of two significant buildings and a parking garage under
Oh, okay.
construction there now. So
Okay.
that's another one is Ridgeview. So we have Ridgeview up, ready to go, and we chose not to open access through Fairview Parkway yet because on the Fairview side, there's still There's still asphalt. Then
Mhm.
they're going to be I think Cinecola's doing it, and they're going to put concrete there.
Okay.
So that is supposed to be done by the end of April or so. So that way, then we're open up Fairview Parkway. Even though it's only 2 lanes up there, we're open that up to Ridgeview, and then you'll be able to,
Right.
which is a really convenient way to get in and out of town, aside from Stacy.
So, Greenville past Fairview Parkway is going to be a lot less traffic, I would say.
Well, I don't know, it'll be that much less, but it might be some less, yeah,
Okay.
as people get used to it. The big deal once we get Fairview Parkway up, which will be a 4-lane road
Yes.
all the way from Greenwell all the way up to Medical City Drive,
Right.
then I would suspect that it's more direct to Highway 121. I would
Mhm.
suspect to see both north and southbound traffic choose that route
Right.
as opposed to going on Greenville. And of course, Greenville's been one of, our projects, so to speak, to try to keep it like it is.
Right.
I go back to what I talked about on Country Club over there. Those folks who have lived here around in Fairview for a number of years, that TxDOT tried to get us to do a 6-lane road through there. I mean, they were going to knock out all sorts of people's property and schools and stuff like that. And basically we said no. So then it's been a matter of going back in and convincing them that we needed to, make the changes that they did make for us. And and
Mhm.
again, I'll emphasize they did a really good job for us.
Yeah. Anything else on this side of town, or as far as? Well, I saw Macy's. I didn't know they were going out of
Yeah,
business. That's a
Macy. Well, they're
disappointment.
closing places all over the country,
Yeah.
and this one has never really done very well. I would say for probably the past 2 years, it's really used as a order online pickup place.
Mhm.
I rarely see cars there, anybody going in there.
Mhm.
The other ones, Penny's doing fine.
Mhm.
Dillard's is actually doing really well from what I hear. We got the food court. That building is open and
Right.
ready to go. There's I know that Lincoln has a plan for the Macy's building.
Oh, good.
It probably not be retail as it is today, to be something different and better
Mhm.
from what I've heard. So yeah, there's good things happening there.
The revolving kitchen.
Revolving
For anyone that
kitchen.
hasn't been
Yeah.
there yet, it's very cool.
Yeah, it's very nice. You got a lot of choices, and Tyler Shin is the guy that owns that, and he's a good guy, and I like supporting him. So
Yeah. I thought I want to talk with him and just find out more about their business and
yeah.
just kind of, because it's stuck back, unfortunately, where on the side that you can't see.
Well, yeah, and I asked them why they can't put a door on the other side, the south side of the building there, and because I don't think there's anything there, and I don't know if that's Lincoln preventing them from doing that, or they just didn't do it. I've been through had a tour, so to speak, twice through his kitchens and things like that, and what you see on the interior side there, interior to the Fairview Town Center, that's the eating area. Sit down and buy and order and that kind of stuff. And then the kitchens are in the back. So I don't know if that's why he doesn't, but to
Yeah,
me, they
could
could put
be.
a door through there and make it where you could see it from Stacy Road or something
Yeah.
like that. I think that would help him out, but they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of apartments under construction over
Right.
there. Again, that's been planned for a long time, and that's Lincoln Properties Company doing that. The reason for that is density. You put more people in there, that our restaurants and retail areas will do better. Kind of a big deal over there is the office building. You know, that office building sat
Yeah.
completely vacant for a number of years, 2 or 3 years. And then they've got they had two small engineering companies move in there, and then there's another significant one. I can't say who it is, but there's somebody taking up the rest of the space.
Okay.
So the whole building will be leased here
Excellent.
sometime. Yeah,
Is that also Lincoln that,
Lincoln owns that also. Yeah,
okay.
one of their they have kind of different not
Right.
subsidiaries,
Right.
but
No,
different companies.
partnerships.
Yeah.
Um, I was going to ask you something too. What is the population of Fairview now? To your best,
We say 11,000.
11.
That's yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's been a little under 11 for a while,
Okay.
and you know we get a report every month. We see how many water connections and stuff are made, and
Yeah.
you know if you look at that, it's about 11,000, something like that.
And what's the projected finish out with
Yeah.
apartments and everything? Would you say?
So on the east side, there's not much more land over
Hmm.
there. I mean, you know it better
Yeah.
than I do in your business, and I mean, there's 3 or 4 places where
Right.
there's some
That's
houses
it.
being built, and that's it. There's no more tear downs. That's
Hmm.
next, and I'm surprised we haven't seen any of those yet. But on this side with the apartment complexes, maybe 5 or 6 thousand more people,
Hmm.
and then we max out at 16, 17,000 people,
Hmm.
18,000 maybe. We're never going to hit the 20, I don't think.
Yeah. I can't remember what Lucas's projections was, but it was quite a bit larger than Fairview when it
Yeah,
was
if you
completed.
look on a map, Lucas is almost is at least twice the size of Fairview.
Hmm.
You know they have there's a lot more bigger lots, people with bigger lots in Lucas than here or in Fairview, and I'm you know, there's certain areas that they've really restricted where multifamily could be, that sort of stuff. Matter of fact, I don't know if they have any place you could put multifamily, but they do have more commercial coming. And then down there at the infamous bait shop,
Yeah.
there's some road work being done, and
Yeah.
good for them. I mean, yeah, that's
Have you
number one.
seen that intersection?
Oh yeah, I've been through there. Just one day, I went through there just to see what was going on. At night, I did.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's they're. I think they're doing a great job. It's a
Yeah.
good solution.
Yeah. I did a podcast or a video on Princeton.
Uh huh.
Princeton's the third largest, fastest growing city in the country right
Yeah,
now. And the amount of homes coming in South Princeton is just
it is
staggering.
mind-boggling. Yeah.
And they're all going to be coming up and up the
Yeah.
Lucas
And
Road.
how do you get out of Princeton to go to Richardson and Plano to go to work? It's
You got to,
Lucas Road.
exactly right. So I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know what their options were. I know they were talking about a roundabout at one time
Yeah.
or traffic circle, but uh, you
The big
know,
deal is they need widening of roads.
yes, yeah,
So they've got coming out of Allen, Bethany goes into Lucas Road.
right.
A number of years ago, I don't. I was mayor at the time. The county does things where they fund partial or 100% sometimes, and Lucas got a bunch of money to expand that road,
Hmm.
and they've had problems because Parker on the south side wouldn't give them right away. So they were kind of back in doing some renegotiating on that, asking the county for some more money because the prices have gone up a lot in the last couple
Hmm.
of years. So they need to have a 4-lane road or so 6-lane. I don't know what they're
Yeah,
going to do. It was 4-lane originally, and go through there like that, just like we did on Stacy Road.
yeah.
And then going south into Wiley, they need to 1378 down there needs to be expanded. I don't like Fairview. I suspect they will never expand the north of Willow Springs, going north up into Fairview. I don't think that'd be done.
Hmm.
It-
Any more saber rattling with the McKinney Airport? I know there's another push now for expansion, but
So yeah,
every year,
they're pushing to have the town of Fairview has been involved in fighting the expansion of that since before I got here, which was in 1990. The latest that we've done, there was an inquiry about environmental stuff. The town of Fairview filed
I saw that.
asking them to do a full environmental impact study,
Hmm.
which would impact our folks or in a good way. Why do we want that done? I mean, aside from to find out where the noise is and stuff like that, but there are things if the environmental impact study shows that there's a problem in certain places, there's federal money involved. So potentially, people in Heritage Ranch might get more money, get some money for windows or sound reducing insulation or something like that. So there's those
Mm-hmm.
kind of things out there that could help that situation. I'll just tell you, and I'm very vocal about this. I respond on Facebook all the time about it. I think I have no idea why they want to do that. That makes no sense to me.
Mhm.
They know I feel this way. We don't touch their corporate jet business, their FBO business. We don't complain about it. It is what it is. And but the passenger service over there, I for the life of me do not understand why they think
Well,
that's
the
important.
McKinney residents feel the same way because they
Yeah,
really defeated that last bond pretty
yeah.
soundly.
Well, some of the city leaders say, well, they defeated it because they didn't want to use public money for it. And no, they defeated it because they didn't want an airport, the
Mhm.
passenger service there. I mean, there's a bunch of things. They're going to build they're going to use municipal money to build that terminal, and there's no property tax associated with it. Why would you do it?
Mhm.
And then if they get an airline in there that flies to Las Vegas, they're going to get a destination airline or something like that. Typically, small airports, they don't live, they die.
Mhm.
And so if that happens, then the city of McKinney's stuck with a building they have to maintain and keep
Right.
it going in case they get somebody else who's interested. For
Right.
the life of me, cannot understand. They could put those industrial buildings over there, all taxable for the school district, for the city. I that if I were, I'm not the mayor, it's not my city, but it certainly does impact my
Yeah.
town.
1378 turning off onto Stacy Road, coming like from Heritage.
Right.
That's a big drop off right there. It'd be
Well,
nice if they could do something to bring that up.
so
So
that's kind of on their list.
is it?
It's very expensive for them to add a turn lane there.
Hmm.
And so far, they haven't chosen to spend the money on that because they've got a lot of other priorities. But
Hmm.
it is on their list. They heard about it.
Hmm.
And maybe one of these days that'll happen.
Yeah.
Some people just say, well, we'll just readjust the alignment there. But, the lanes are lined up where they need to go. And that, there could be accidents caused by that.
Yeah.
But they are aware of it, and TxDOT's aware of it, and it's on their list.
Okay. And give me something that you wish you could have accomplished, you just didn't have enough time to do it?
Well, it's not quite like that. I would tell you if there's one thing I would have maybe tried, it wouldn't have been popular, but over where the temple is going, I'm going to
Hmm.
bring that up. We've had over the years, I mean, even before I got on council, probably before I got to Fairview, there were all sorts of businesses that tried to locate there.
Hmm.
And we've had people in Fairview come up with plans, single story office parks, that kind of stuff. Um, the Ryan's dental practice across the street, that they could have put that over there. And we ended up losing all that across to Allen.
So
Eh,
you've lost all that taxable business income.
It's taxable business, and we wouldn't have the issues that we have today that we're
Yeah.
dealing with. And
Yeah.
that to me,
Well,
it was just me being reticent because it was it's hugely unpopular to put business in an area.
yeah.
It's already it's zone RE1, and unfortunately, we're going to end up with 4 religious institutions in there that are not
Mhm.
taxable. If I had to do it over again, I would try to convince the residents that that's a good thing to do.
Yeah. It's kind of like hindsight's 2020 now.
Hindsight is
Yeah.
2020, and yeah, you can see that, and we would have been saving a lot of heartache and trouble
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. And just real briefly, the temple that's been everybody's going to want to know about that.
Yeah.
And you had told me that it's still in flux right now. You're not sure what's going to happen. Negotiations are still going on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
do you think? Go ahead.
Yeah, people are aware that they have, we had negotiation. We came up, the good news out of that, instead of the really, really large building, the 174-foot building, 65-foot or speed steeple, 65-foot building, they made a big concession on the building size. They came down from 65 feet to 35 feet, which, by the way, our code is 35 feet there.
Mhm.
There's a portion of it's 45.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a much more attractive building. Much more attractive building. So that's a good thing. The issue is that for our residents right now is they want to see the tower. It's really not a steeple now. It's more a tower. Come down. It's 120 feet. It's actually 115 feet with what looks to be a 5-foot lightning rod on top. They'd like to see that come back down.
Mhm.
And there is, I don't think they're going to agree to it, to be frank about it. But we have talked to them and asked them about
Yeah.
it. They interpret that as that we're not going to approve the building that was negotiated.
Right.
And so we're see where we are.
Right.
We're talking to them, and
Well, it's been a
we're
long
trying.
going. When did all the negotiations start on that? How long ago?
So I first found out about it in February. It's been 1 year, basically.
Okay.
I first found out about it in February. They had a public meeting in March. That's when they had meetings that, basically you build it and we're
Yeah.
going to sue you,
Yeah.
which was not a good introduction to our town. But yeah, it's been about a year right now.
Do they actually own the land now, or do they have an option to purchase if they get their permitting? Have they actually made the
So,
purchase?
so the land is in LLC world,
Okay.
and I have suspicions as to who did that for them.
But it is
The-
closed.
Somebody owns that
Okay,
property. Yes, that's my understanding, and it's owned by. It may not be owned by the church yet, but
Yeah.
it's owned by
Okay.
somebody.
It did sell from the original
Yeah.
owner that's been there for a long
That's
time.
my understanding. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I can't speak for the Fairview residents as far as how much they're going to miss you, but I sure am, because you've
appreciate
always
that.
been open to, if I've got questions, you're always willing to take them. And it's just you kind of represent what a mayor should be. So, do you want to give a little bit of information on your company? How do they reach you if they're interested in
Okay.
wealth management?
Yeah. So if they're interested, our website is www.meridianwealthllc.com. Everybody should have my cell phone, but it's 214-893-5360. And we'd love to help you out if somebody wants to do that. I have more time. I will have more time in about 3 months.
Mhm. Yeah. Well,
But I've enjoyed doing this. I really do. The best thing about it has been getting to know so many people in town. I
yeah,
mean,
everybody.
we have a great town. I'll tell you.
Well,
We
I
have,
agree.
previous leaders in our town are fabulous people. Lots of new people moving here, and it's just a really, really good place to be.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
We are blessed to be in this town. I'll
I
tell
agree.
you. Yeah.
I agree 100%. Well, Henry, thank you very much. And we'll do another one in a year anyway, and I'll just get caught up and see what
I'll
you're
be around.
doing.
Hey, I'm not leaving. So.
Okay. Thanks for visiting
Thank
with
you,
us.
Tom. My pleasure.